I'm sharing from The Art of Living, Energy Science. Connection is success and well-being, and this leads to longevity. Belongingness is natural wonder, unity. Openness is mutuality, unity, reciprocal receptivity. The subtle existence versus the physical body is how we release pain and stress. And there's invisible, unseen powers, the visible, the seen. Not knowing my own potential and unboundedness, we can start to go into the unconscious mind for future, which is if we don't, we have the anxiety and anticipation, and past is regret and anger. Resistance persists when we don't let it integrate. When we have low energy, it's because we're not arriving or integrating. There's a negativity bias, reactivity, we feel overwhelmed, and it's about how much time, amount, and type of food and sleep, whether we have a calm meditative mind, if we're breathing, because there's physical, there's breath, there's sensory, perceptive, mental, intellect, discrimination, memory, identification, anchor, ego, idea of the self, divine nature, energy, consciousness. There's a spectrum from the gross or the crude to the subtle. And harvesting and harnessing our energy practices let us be in the energy house. There's the supreme victorious breath, which is called Ujjayi. There's a few different options. There's bellows breath. It's like, and there's 3 stages holes where you like put your hands in a place and you go, or by your hips, or by your shoulders, right, or your armpit, and different ways to practice. Or going You can see you start to play with the breath. The same you could do with your breathing. I have my fingers in my armpits, like that. And when our arms go to the side to do that, we actually open our lungs more. We also have on our shoulders. We also have by our hip flexors. Moving on, these are just practices. So I encourage breathing practices. When we are gentle with ourselves, we don't justify or explain. We learn to let go, face change, and be 100% into Hashem or into God in the freedom of thy will be done. It's complete, and our mind is fully captivated by being here and now. And we de-link happiness from the unreliable variables that we find the independent, unconditional state. For example, their eyes closed, it's a sign I'm the giver of the joy, the peak existence, ecstatic fulfillment. There's nothing I need to look for or find or rely on. A breath is like the revival, the refreshment, invigoration. The nature of the mind, though, is to vacillate. So when our breath is going in and out, we start to be like, the physics, like we find inner stillness even when people are torturing us. And we're not really saying anyone's torturing us, but we're saying that's what we're thinking. We confront our own delusions and resistance and attachments instead of forcing it onto others as a burden for them to carry by being happy by being happy for my own sake with my own agency and deserving. I have family everywhere. People are waiting for me. I intend to help the youth, non-violence, ex-military living with peace, conflict resolution, tolerance as a blessing by a master of love. That's our goals, to see the good in all of life and connect to our own true natural nature, each of us individually and together. And we have storylines. They're, for the unknown, the possibility, relevant, revelatory, whether it's Judaism or, when I was leaving home at 12 after my parents got divorced, I was about 11 or something. Abandonment, rejection, survival mode, lack and fight or flight, not enough. Past adventures, excitement, challenges, spiritual seeker, meaning and finding something real that lasts. The future is a mystery. Open-ended hope, circumstances, characters that are not happening together by accident. They attract each other, and we surrender the garbage and desire to smell it, observe it, analyze it. Grave deaths to personality shape us. We keep treasures in the garbage a secret, and the secret is where they grow. We don't have to tell our story to everyone in the world. It's precious and deserves to be safe. And our mind, in the mind, there's childhood, religion, collective physical world, femininity, appearance, addiction, trauma, energy science, breathwork, yoga, meditation, love, healing, God, art, meaning-making, sex. When I say yoga, I mean like the connection one-on-one with with the yoking of in Judaism we say it's the Kabbalah's all. It's taking on Kabbalah. It's like being Mekabel. So in Judaism we say yoga is Kabbalah, like Kabbalah is lahavdil, like to separate it is like yoga. And God directs our story and produces it and is the point of contact for any objections. I'm hoping my story is more friendship, romance, family, love and connection, health, prosperity, laughter, good food, enough money, safety, quiet, agency, comfort, and beauty. And in rhythms, we learn bliss rhythm, which is the delta rhythm. We're born with it. 20, 40, 40. Long, medium, short. So hum, so hum, hum, so hum. Like there's chants we could do. We do 8 breaths by our hips, then 8 breaths by our chest, then 8 breaths by our shoulders, throat, like. And even counting 4, 4, 6, 2, natural, like in, hold, out, hold. Natural rhythm can be reset with this kind of, they call it kriya or practice in the yoga, on an empty stomach. And open lungs, we open our lungs, we free our chakras, we take time to meditate after, and we're alert and aware without irritation, energy that's able to be maintained, prevented from being easily sponged or tapped by someone, and capacity does not equal the resistance to loss. All peaks and valleys follow each other. We can learn to stay in the middle of the wave more, and rather than identify and hold on to the high or the low part, as we realize all experiences have an opposite and we accept things as they are. We don't need to be so high and then only to feel so low. And this is the biggest way that we can lose our energy when we appease others or change ourselves for them. Instead of accepting people as they are, we could try to waste so much energy. And in yoga, they call it prana, life force. In Hebrew, we call it chiyus or chaya. We try to change them and get something from them. Rather, we can make peace with everyone. Love them as they are. Our cure can be more helpful if it's not selfish, dependent on them changing, right? We are, when we could be active, not passive, peaceful action. Reaction is not a response. Response is to adapt to each situation. We have the responsibility, the ability to respond. Versus reaction is we just act. We act again. React. We act again. We just go straight in. Whether the action is to shut up or to do, anyway, regrets come from reactions though. And our opinions are time-specific, subjective thoughts regarding something outside of ourselves that is constantly changing. We don't have to be a football of other people's opinions. We don't have to be a vending machine. We could be in flow, knowing that no one plans their mistakes. We forgive them because it's not their intention. We can learn how to always excuse ourselves. And other than that, what's meant for us will come as X or Y or Z. And we can romance our existence with unity at the center of the code. Love holds all the cells together. And they call it the chida, the chida or something. What we really delusionally try to seek outside of ourselves is love. That oneness. In Hebrew we say the yechida. A lot of yoga comes from Kabbalah. So we would say it's the everything being held together is the yechida, the oneness of two becoming one. They're one. We have to live our own life. No need to be the judge of our life. Of anyone else's life. We need to be the judge of our own life. When we're in ego, we're stiff. I know this. And that's the energy that it likes to get energy to stay separate. It doesn't turn knowledge into wisdom. That's the whole thing of being stuck versus letting go. When we give people time to change at their own time and giving them freedom to think about what they want to do, it's going beyond awareness because we know that this moment is immutable. And so what? So what? It's kind of like when I said so hum earlier, they say so hum. So hum. It's kind of like getting in the mind of saying, so what? So what? Like allowing. The very situations most painful for us are a chance to not have that pain anymore if we don't run away this time and learn to tolerate it. It affects us when it's meant for us. Where we're at is attracting the test. So we become a vessel for consciousness, becoming something from nothing in time and space. We're less than being able to put our finger on it, yet part of one of 499 trillion galaxies. And so on the one hand, the whole world was created for us. On the other hand, we're like dust and ashes. That's a Hebrew thing. Anyway, be well. You can find The Art of Living online. They have a lot of programs Okay, bye.